And so I always encourage my clients, when you go in to have these conversations with the health department, stick to catering. The cart is an added asset, but it's equipment essentially, no different than a tong, right? Or a pan or a pot. But like, just stick to catering. It'll be so much easier to navigate it if you just tell them, I'm opening a catering business. Start from there.
Welcome to the Charcuterie and Cottage Biz podcast, the show for makers, bakers, and food creators ready to turn their kitchen skills into real income without all the overwhelm. We're your hosts, Andrea and Patty, the GrazingBiz Sisters, a professionally trained chef and a multi-million-dollar marketing strategist with over 60 years combined experience helping entrepreneurs start, price, market, and grow profitable food businesses. Whether it's a side hustle or a full-time dream, you're in the right place. Now, let's start the show. Hey. Welcome back to the Charcuterie and Cottage Biz podcast. We're so glad you are all here today. How is everybody doing? Yay. Andrea, how you doing,
Yay.
sis?
I'm feeling better from the last time we did a podcast a few days ago. I was battling a cold. So hopefully I won't be sneezing and blowing my nose in front of everybody this time.
Don't do it. Nobody wants to see that or hear it either. Well, today
I'm better.
Today we're so excited. We have a ton to do, so we're going to get on it. But if you are on YouTube, you can see that we have a guest with us today, Karlet Hewitt. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today, Karlet.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk with you, sisters. It's going to be so fun.
Yay. Well, I just want to do a quick introduction, then I'm going to let Karlet kind of tell us a little bit more about herself. But basically, I ran into Karlet out in Facebook world, and she and I, and Andrew and I we do have two separate Facebook groups. And her group is, tell us again, what is the boardroom? Tell the name of it again. Your cart. I should have wrote that down because.
Yeah, no worries. My Facebook group is called The Boardroom, the Mobile Charcuterie Cart Edition. It is a Facebook group exclusively for mobile charcuterie cart business owners who want to grow.
Yes, perfect. Well, what you call your self-professed serial founder, and I love that about you because you're like me. I got 10 zillion things I do all the time, but you have founded a number of businesses, which we'll let you tell everybody about. But currently, you do have, with relation to the charcuterie business, you have a business called the Mobile Cart CEO. And also Charcuterie, and that is basically your actual charcuterie cart business, correct? And you are a mom of two, and you live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So take it away. Tell us a little bit more about you and just your background and like, how did you end up here? Tell us your origin story in 5 minutes.
Okay, so charcuterie, it's a love language for me. I fell in love with charcuterie last year. I was on maternity leave. I worked at an experiential marketing agency for the past few years as the head of operations. So my background is systems, event logistics, anywhere from event setup to insurance, compliance. Like, I know all of it front to back. I build systems, I break them down and build them again. And when I got into the world of charcuterie during maternity leave, I just had my daughter last year. She's 1 year old now.
She's so cute too.
Thank you. While I was on maternity leave, my former employer, they kicked me off Slack, and I had nothing to do. Because if you know anything about working on Slack, if you work remotely, it's like, it's in the palm of your hand all the time. So you're constantly like checking for the notification. And I started my maternity and I had no notifications. I had nothing to look at. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need something to do. And so I was like, well, I'm not really dexterous in, a way where I can build things. I've never considered myself dexterous in that way. Like, I am technical. So everything that I do typically involves the computer. But my partner, he was like, you got to do something new. And I started talking with my best friend about like, what should I do? And I went to Pinterest and I just fell in love with hosting and table settings, tablescapes. Like, I've always loved that part of events and hospitality. And I was like, let me try this. And so I started making boards at home. And then somewhere along the line, I ran into a mobile charcuterie cart on Pinterest. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm getting one of those. And so I went over to Etsy. I found a carpenter and I purchased some plans on Etsy. I took it down to, I went to Facebook Marketplace to find a carpenter to build it locally.
Really?
I found someone in Charlotte. I found someone in Charlotte, which is 3 hours away. and I got my cart built, and the rest is literally history. I fell in love with it, and here we are 8 months later, almost, and I'm like fully immersed in the world of charcuterie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked really that you jumped in with like your hands, your feet, your head, everything, obviously your heart. You're the fact that you built that group up so fast in Facebook. What drew you to want to do that so quickly with just getting started? I mean, how did that come about?
Yes, I love that question. I have always been someone who believes in the art of social networking. I think people are on these apps just lollygagging on these apps, but like I'm intentional about the relationships that I form on any app, right? And so I think back to the pandemic when we were all stuck in the house and there was that group Clubhouse. Do you remember Clubhouse?
Oh yeah, whatever happened? People aren't really doing that anymore, are they? I'm not in
There's
there.
tons of people on Clubhouse still. Like there's an audience for that. But during the time of the pandemic, like I was bopping around all these rooms in Clubhouse, like formulating true relationships, really connecting with people from a sense of relatability. Like anything that I'm interested in, I will always go out and find the people that are speaking my language. And it doesn't matter what the topic is. And so I started looking at different Facebook groups. I landed in your Facebook group as one of the groups. There is a ton of charcuterie communities on Facebook. But
Yeah.
as I started networking in the Facebook groups, I realized, oh, wait, this is really cliquish. And I was really naive to the world of charcuterie because I'm like, wait, we're talking about fruits and veggies and pepperoni and meats and cold cuts here. Like,
Sausage.
what do you mean you don't want to talk to me about this? Or what do you mean you kicking me out of your group? And so I was like, you know what? I can't take getting kicked out of another group because it's never that serious. There is enough opportunity in any space for everybody to thrive. I'll just start my own group. And honestly, I mean this in the most humble way.
Yeah.
Anything that I start, it just thrives. Like, shout out to God for that, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
anything that I
right.
touch is going to prosper. And so it just happened. And here we are, only 7 months later, we're almost 600 members, literally.
That's
And that's
amazing.
just from offering value, just from being in these groups. People ask questions, I answer. I ask questions because I don't know everything. And just making connection with people, genuine connection based off like interest.
Yeah, well, I
Mhm.
love that. And that's what attracted me to wanting to talk with you. When I reached out to you, I was like, this girl, I could tell without us even ever talking that you have a drive that is very similar. I know to me, I can
Yeah.
answer for Andrea. She's got a different drive going in a different direction, but I am like so marketing focused that I'm like, this girl is really into this and I need to talk to her. So that's
Yeah.
what, when I reached out to you a few months back, I'm like, we got to get you on our podcast. It's similar
Yeah.
to us, Andrea. Andrea, when we started our podcast, it was like, let's just get out there and start talking and let's build this group. I mean, and we didn't have a ton of charcuterie experience necessarily. Andrea had a ton of experience cooking and all of that. She did her share of boards, but not like strict business with it. So I think if there's a lesson for anybody who's listening to us, is that you can start this from anywhere. Where I mean, when I mean anywhere, I mean like you had another business, you did something else. If you want this to be a full-time gig or part-time gig, you can bring your experience in somehow, some way, probably, and apply it and not feel threatened by anybody else. And I love your thing about you want to help everybody, right?
Yeah.
Which also was very attractive, talking
Thank
to you.
you.
um
Hmm.
I'm curious then, when you decided you were going to focus on the cart itself, what specifically did you do to start? You said you went out and bought a cart or was going to have one made. What specifically were you focusing on as far as wanting to sell inside your cart? Like, what did you decide you were going to put in there and make like your focus for that?
Yeah, charcuterie. I didn't have to give it any additional thought. I saw it on Pinterest. I was really attracted to it. It's experiential, right? It's immersive. It taps into all the senses. It's serving. It is a part of an event, a different side of the event world that I was not necessarily privy to. I understand and have always been behind the scenes as head of operations, as an operator, right? So I
Mhm.
am a builder. If you need the vendors, I know how to find the vendors. If you need the insurance, I know how to get the certificates. If you need to find the influencers or the venues or anything pertaining to the setup of a true event, I know how to do that, but I've never been on the front end of an event, right? Like I've never been a host in that way. Well, I shouldn't say that because I've done those too, but I mean, in food service, never
Yeah.
worked in food service, didn't understand anything about food safety, about licensing, permits, the requirements from the front end. And so going through the experience of becoming an owner of a charcuterie business was so interesting and new for me. And I thought it was exciting because it's new. It's something that I'm learning. I gave myself permission to make mistakes, to ask questions to people who are more senior, and also just literally making phone calls. And every time I would ask another question, I would get the answer. And every time I would find out the answer, I would go to a Facebook group and say, hey guys, did you know, blah, 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 blah. Like I was giving it all away for free. I still do. My community is a free community. Nobody's doing that outside of us. We're doing that.
Yeah.
Most people are like offering coaching, like you need to pay for this. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wait a minute, they're already doing it. Why would I pay you for something you're already doing? Like, I'm just showing you a different way to do that. Now, there is cost associated if we're getting into one-on-ones and things like that. And we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But if we are peers, why am I paying you if we're peers, right? Like, Andrea, you're a chef. If you meet another chef down the street and you just want to talk about industry topics, don't put a price on that. I just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's
I
missing
agree.
in this space. That's what's missing in the world of charcuterie. It's camaraderie, it's peer mentorship, it's just establishing relationships with people who speak the same language for something we all love. And I'm bringing that back. So that's why I created Mobile Card CEO.
Well, and so the difference between that business, because you're helping kind of give back to the community with that business versus you actually doing it, you get the hands-on part doing it. I want to go back though, because you said you did a lot of research. And I think when people get started, they're lost at that point. And again, we always hit this home. Andrew will tell you that you've got to do your research in your neck of the woods because every state is different. Our state, in which Karlet, you probably know, like we can do a lot at home, although the cart is not one of those things. We really need to be in a commercial kitchen because you need to pack, unless you're going to pack everything up and put it in the bins ahead of time labeled for the cottage industry. But that said, our laws are different in Arizona than they are in North Carolina. But when you first started doing your research, what was the first thing that you like went to research? What did you do? What were you looking for the answer for? Hey friends, it's Patty here. Before we get back into the episode, I've got something really tasty for you. If you're dreaming about starting or growing your home-based food or charcuterie business, we've put together a whole bundle of free resources just for you, including calculators, marketing guides, AI prompts, our free Facebook group, everything you need to get yourself up and running as fast as possible. Oh, and don't miss our free webinar training on how to launch your business the smart way. You can grab it all at grazingbiz.com/resources. That is grazingbiz.com/resources. Oh, and if you're loving the value we bring you each week, do me a huge favor. Make sure to follow the show, hit us up with a 5-star rating, and share this podcast with someone who needs a little nudge to start their own food business journey. Your thoughtful follow and ratings help move our little podcast up the ranks of podcast land and gives us even more incentive to keep providing you even more food business success tips, advice, and resources. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Alrighty, let's dive back into the rest of the podcast.
Sure. So as someone who's not new to business, I've started businesses before that are not in the food industry. I always revert to my attorney. I have an AI consultancy, an operations business outside of charcuterie. And for everything that I need to do, I'm calling Aviance. Okay. That's my attorney. I'm calling her and I say, hey, what needs to happen next? Like I have this idea, what needs to happen next? Right. And I'm leaning into her to tell me what to do next. She says, all right, we need to get an LLC, no problem. We need to call the Secretary of State, no problem. Once I call the Secretary of State and they say, hey, you need to reach out to the tax department, I just keep asking questions. the more
Mhm.
questions you ask, I'm inquisitive. So I want to know, right? Hence why I'm bopping around all these Facebook groups. I want to know for myself. It's very important to me to get the information for myself. Oftentimes you'll meet people and they'll say, no, just ask Andrea or just ask Patty. And I'm like, no, wait, let me research it myself, right? I might
Yeah.
read something. I read a lot of blogs. I read a lot of books. I spend a lot of time in the library. A lot of people don't. These are things that are lost. And then now that we're in the age of AI, forget it. You can
Mm-hmm.
get a checklist in 2 seconds. You still have
Yeah.
to pick up the phone and make the call. But I was able to I literally said, well, how do I start? It's catering essentially, right? So how do I start a catering business? And
Yes.
once I started there with my attorney, the rest is history. I did not understand the commissary kitchen world. I didn't know that this was something that I was going to need or could even afford as somebody who was just starting out. And so the more questions you ask, the closer you get to your answer. And you may not be able to answer it today or take action on it today, but now I know I got to get from step A to B to C, and I'm just going to keep asking. And every time someone would tell me no down at the health department, I just call back the next day until I get somebody else and they tell me the answer. And then I'm like, oh, perfect. Well, I
I
spoke
love
to
that.
such and such. I know what to do next. Oh, you don't know the answer? No problem. I'm calling back next week. I'm calling this county. I'm calling that county because two people, we're in the same state, but we're in different counties. They're going to tell you different information. And so I always tell people, don't be afraid to pick up the phone. And if it doesn't work today, just call back tomorrow. I'm a big caller backer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
love that. Yeah,
You got to call
makes a lot
back.
of sense. And yeah, you just never know what kind of answers you're going to get. But then on the other hand, I still want, when you talk about AI, which I love, you still want to do your research to make sure
Yeah.
that what you're getting is accurate and
Yep.
recent because some of the stuff is old. Did you run into the same problems when you were getting started because charcuterie carts are so new that the local health departments didn't really know what to,
Not
how
surprised.
like they didn't have answers for you because they hadn't seen it yet, or whoever you were talking to at that moment, it was kind of
Yep.
new for them. And so how did you navigate that one? Because I know a lot of people are having that same problem right now. It's like they don't get the answers they
Absolutely.
want. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think even in the last 7 months, I've watched the landscape change because when I first started making my phone calls and explaining the cart, I'll say, even with the insurance company, before we even get to the state, right? The state departments, just even with insurance, navigating business insurance, you need general liability. You get on the phone with them and they're like, well, is it catering? Do you have equipment?
Mm-hmm.
You have a kitchen? Is it a hot dog cart? And so everyone was trying to classify my business as a hot dog cart. And I'm like, no, it's catering. But then when you talk about the cart, it causes confusion, you know?
Right.
Then switch to talking to Department of Health. It's two different departments. You have Department of Agriculture that regulates cheese. You have Department of Health that regulates meat, right? And so it's like, well, they don't understand this because you're talking about charcuterie versus catering. And so I always encourage my clients when you go in to have these conversations with the health department, stick to catering. The cart is an added asset, but it's equipment essentially, no different than a tong, right? Or a pan or a pot. But like just stick to catering. It'll be so much easier to navigate it if you just tell them I'm opening a catering business. Start from there.
That's really good advice. Andrea, what do you feel about that? Because
No,
every
I
state
think
again is the same, but I mean every state's different, but curious what your thoughts are on that. Because
no,
I
I completely agree with that. And in fact, as she was saying it, I was thinking about, I wouldn't define it as, how you separated it out between, and I had that problem with the Department of Agriculture and stuff here as well in the beginning before our laws changed. And then I broke it down to just straight up catering because that's what it is. It's
Exactly.
catering. And you are delivering food. And in our state, like Patty said, we can label and we can deliver, but other states can't. And, it is super important. And we say that in our podcast. We say that everywhere we can say it, screaming it to to
yeah,
the mountaintops. You have to do your research. And every state is different. Every county is different. Not every county, but most of the time it is. The states are
Yeah.
very different. But I like the way that you stated that with the whole breaking it down and just start off with catering and move from there.
yeah, and
Yep.
then you can
And so I
explain it.
think another reason that I was able to navigate it, and I won't say it was smooth, right? It's not. You're gonna hit hiccups in the road because they don't know either. They
Hmm.
genuinely don't know. Like this is
Right.
such charcuterie isn't new. Catering isn't new. These carts, These are new. And now you
Mhm.
start to see different things popping up. So outside of charcuterie, you have caviar carts, you have treat carts, sweet carts, dirty
Right.
soda. There's just so many things that are popping up. And I don't even think the legislature is caught up yet with how to regulate these things because it's not mobile, right? It's a
Right.
collapsible cart that you put in your trunk,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it's food. So you have to follow food regulations, which are incredibly strict across the country, minus
Right.
Arizona, where you guys
Yeah.
have a little
Well,
more
we are still
relaxes.
strict. I mean, but
Yeah.
they do want to make sure that we're not like, just throwing out warm meat and all of that. We're just able to sell anything from home for the most part. So it's kind of
Right.
different. But it
Easily.
is still different when it comes to the cart because the cart is a totally different breed. It is catering, as you say, and you're building the boats or whatever the boards out on site. So that's totally different than the cottage part of this where this all has to be made at home and labeled in our kitchen, and there's a lot that goes with that, but totally
Yeah.
different but the same. It's kind of hard to explain for
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
who's listening to us that are actually in the cottage food business and not selling charcuterie. It's just important to know that everything you're selling has its rules in every state,
Yeah.
right? And if you're new to this, you got to go track that stuff down. In our state, it's the Arizona Department of Health. We just start there
Mhm.
and learn what we need to have, and most states are going to have that, counties, cities, and all of that. Well, so you talked about the different things that you could put on your cart. So I'm kind of interested when you were deciding, first of all, who was going to build your cart for you. What specific things were you looking for the person that was going to build this? Like you had a certain idea in mind, or were you just looking at someone else's out there and said, "Oh, I like that"? And tell us how your cart is actually set up. And do you have one big tray, or do you have all separate containers? Fill us in on all that.
Yeah. So I have 12 trays, like 12 individual trays or pans. And then we added, what do you call these? Help me.
Oh, the
We
wings
added
on the side,
the
the wing.
shelving. Yeah, we
Oh
added
yeah,
Yeah,
extra
the right, the
side.
extra, yeah, the extra.
Yeah, storage. We added
Yeah, what
extra
are we
storage on
calling
the
it? I don't
side.
know. We both
The
went blank.
wings.
Yeah.
the wing. Oh well, we built ours, so we just put wings on the side of ours. Basically, they just
It's
pop up and
wings.
make extra shelf. That yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
And so I added extra shelving and also extra shelving in the back because I wanted to make sure like we could stack things. Bus buckets, they fit there really nicely. The ice pans fit really nicely. I found my cart just by looking at Pinterest. I was like, okay, there's several options. Who knew there were so many different
Yeah.
options and so many different toppers? Like, I never paid attention to any of this stuff before I became an owner, right? And so I went on Pinterest. I found it's so interesting because he's so great. I now have an affiliate partnership with the gentleman who I purchased his plans on Etsy. I've gotten so many affiliate partnerships with different vendors. You have no idea. And this is all just from a relationship, okay? I went on, I purchased his plans. I found my carpenter on Facebook Marketplace. I had no idea what I was looking for, but I was looking for a carpenter, somebody who understands wood. My cart is made of butcher block. It's a really heavy wood. It's super durable.
Well,
It's very expensive.
is it heavy?
Um, it is heavy. It's not
Mm.
plywood. Like it's very
Yeah.
heavy. It's professional grade topper. And we did it like that intentionally. And when I say we, it's my best friend Alicia. Her and I own Ever and Also together. So I'm here in North Carolina and she's in Sacramento, California. And we do the business together. I'm Ever. She's Also, because have you ever wanted something savory but also sweet?
Sweet.
And
That's
also
cute. Very
and
cute.
so the goal is that I'm able to tell people like you can start something brand new. You don't have to know anything about it. Just team up with somebody who does. You'll go a
Yeah.
lot faster, a lot further. If I go to Andrea and I say, well, Andrea, what level should I keep my meat at? Like you're going to know that more than me because you've been doing this for 20
Yeah.
years, versus
Yeah.
somebody who's only just started. And so why would I have to do the work 10 times harder when you've already done it? That's peer mentorship. That's community. That's me
Mhm.
having a network of folks in Arizona. I can't service Arizona charcuterie, but I can
Yeah.
easily say, let me get Patty and Andrea on the phone. There's a bride. She needs charcuterie. I saw her in a Facebook group. Reach out to her.
Yeah,
I
I
do
love
it all the
that.
time. I
That's
tag
great.
people in my community all the time for people that's looking in these in the wedding groups or in any of these event groups around the world or even in North Carolina. I've actually called someone before down in Wilmington. I got an inquiry for somebody who was looking for charcuterie in Wilmington. I'm nowhere near Wilmington. That's like 3 hours
Yeah.
away. And I was like, well, is there anybody in my group? I sent a note, SOS, who wants this? She booked it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's cool.
Well, but to get back to your cart, the original question I really was wanting to hear is like, okay, when you set it up, because you have the 12 different things, are you sitting the 12 different things, they're in separate squares on
And
the top? They're, yeah, okay. And then how are they sitting in the, how are you keeping them cold? What are you doing to keep them cold? Because we're coming into the summer months for everywhere.
Yeah.
We have this problem all year long, but what are
yes,
you doing to keep them individually? What are you doing for that? Because I know that comes up a lot.
ice, ice,
Yeah,
ice
but where
pack.
are they sitting? They sitting in
So
like
in
a,
the pan, in my pan, so two things. One, there's plenty of ways that you can do this. For
Mhm.
me, what I've done, so we literally just did this at a vineyard. I put ice, you have the pan, I put ice at the bottom of the pan, and then I put parchment paper on top, and then I stack the pans with the ingredients, right? Or you can put two large pans underneath because it meets the pans, and you can put dry ice. It keeps it cold for several hours. There's
Mhm.
two ways that you can do this to keep the items cold. And then you just put a little bit of items in at a time. Keep a cooler next to you also with dry ice or a sheet of ice. So you can restore it, refill it. You know what I mean? But you got to be really thoughtful in how to preserve the food, especially if it's an outdoor event versus an indoor event. I don't know if you're in North Carolina, it's hot. It gets really, really hot outside.
that's
And,
what
meats, cheese, literally, it goes in 30
goes
minutes.
so
It's done
fast.
Right.
if you don't preserve it.
Right. We've done it a different way. We actually bought the big, what do you call those pans, Andrew? I always have to ask Andrew,
Well,
but we
they're
have
they're in the commercial restaurant industry. It's called a hotel pan, and it's a
Mhm.
deep chafing dish pan. It's basically, what are we, 6 inches, four
yeah,
inches?
six
I think it's
inches.
the ones we got were 6 inches deep, and we put the six with so there's how many did we put in there? Six
There's six
pans.
in
We
there.
put, yeah, so we have
Six in there?
6 pans in there, which are deep and,
Yeah.
so they go down and they touch the ice that's at the
Four by four.
bottom of that pan.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
everybody has a different setup. We went with the two big chafing dish size hotel pans and then dropped the 6 pans inside.
Right.
And we have like these weird little things that kind of hold them in place. And then but we found the same thing too, was we had to keep everything covered really, really well. We did buy the plastic covers, but you can't just go with those. And you
Right.
have to constantly restock because they get warm fast no matter what you do. The top of those pans just get fast. And you have
If it's
humidity
sticky,
on top of the
Yeah,
heat, so I
humidity.
can't
Yeah.
even imagine trying to
yeah.
keep that.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone,
It's
if you have a
huge.
mobile charcuterie cart, please invest in the pan covers. A lot of people
Oh
don't.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
just think, let me just have the cart. I'm going to have this open setup, whether
Yeah.
indoor or outdoor. Germs are real. Like you got to
Yeah.
cover the food.
Right,
So
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
just
have
get
the
the plastic
plastic
for the,
covers, and then we
exactly.
have like that sort of,
The dome.
rolling thing that
Yeah,
goes
rolling
down on
dome.
top too. And
Yeah,
all of
we
that
found,
helps. I mean, anything you can do helps. But
yeah.
if you go back to one of our older podcasts from the summer, we did a event in the middle of the monsoon season, which had to have been similar in weather to you. So it was humid as all get out. It was storming. It was a
Drying
ridiculous
hot.
mess.
Got it all.
But we
And
made
it was
money and we
90 when the
survived and
sun
we
came.
learned. I mean, not
Yeah.
that I didn't know what was coming. What I wasn't ready for was that stupid monsoon storm that
Oh,
swooped
I
up
can't
on us,
imagine.
and it was horrible.
Yeah. So you
But
got to be prepared. Do
yeah,
you
we were
find
drowned rats.
Yeah, we were. Do you find the sun definitely is an issue because of the way if you're
Hmm.
out, and I don't know if you've been out, like we did a whole full day event where the sun was moving across, and you think you're good to go because you're under this tent, but the sun is shifting around, and then but yet you don't want to have your cart like deep in the heart of your tent because people can't see what you're selling, right? So we we ended up putting umbrellas up out on the outside of it because we could at this event. But have you had
Yeah.
that problem in trying to keep yourself out of the sun, no matter, if you're
Oh,
in a tent?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. One of my first large events was actually at a vineyard grand opening.
Hmm.
And it was literally middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
there's no covering at all. You literally have to bring it all in. And so the umbrella
Yeah.
helps a great deal. But I also think people have to plan for the worst. Contingency
Mhm.
planning is important. Why do I know that? Because my background is in event operations, right? When you think of logistics of being on site or outdoors, you have to have a contingency plan. And it's no different with these carts. I think it's I want people to hear me like really well. You gotta plan for what's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah.
If you
Mhm.
are outside, please bring an extra 4 feet, 6 feet table, something that you can store on prep, you can reach back to. Like, you need to have a station to kind of work from that's separate from your cart. If
Yep.
you plan that in advance, bring a table, 4 feet, 6 feet, package it. It's a part of your kit. I
Yep.
think people forget about the kit. You have
Mhm.
to have a kit,
Yep.
extra ice, extra toothpicks, extra tongs. Like, you need everything extra
Right,
compliance.
right. Well, and especially around an event like that, you also have to, if you're outdoor at an outdoor event, you got to have a hand washing station. I mean, there's a lot to go into that. Everything's a little different depending if it's indoor or outdoor. And again, if you can go back to previous podcasts that we've done, and we've talked about this at great length from our experiences outside, but very fun. So are you doing mostly indoor or outdoor type stuff? And how are you how are you getting business? Because I know a lot of people ask that too. So we'd love,
Yes.
everybody gets it
I
different.
So I do both indoor and outdoor. And if I'm completely honest with you, I've been able to scale to the point where I don't have to service all of my events. I've been able to hire someone to actually deliver the service. I'll
Yeah,
book them
Good
nice.
in.
for you. High
And
five, sister.
right,
Yeah.
that's the goal. The goal is to scale, right? And so I pretty much just manage the business, and then I'm able to book other artists, those who are much better at the creation of all the things than I am, right? And my goal is to continue to do that. I would love to have a fleet of carts where I'm able to just hire other people. That creates opportunity for others. And yeah, everybody wins. That's like the goal.
That's really great that you're doing that. How are you hiring and where are you finding these people?
I love to tap into my local moms Facebook groups.
Hmm.
I am a big, like, literally, I have a 13-year-old and a 1 year old. Okay. And there are moms out there that are like, I need something extra to bring in some extra cash. And like, this creates opportunities for another mom. Everybody wins. Anybody that's attached to me wins, period. It's just the way that I live my life. I am blessed that I'm able to do that. And I love creating opportunities for other people. That's why I started my community, because I'm like,
Yeah.
there's too many opportunities out here and I can't do it. I'm nursing. And when I wasn't nursing, home with my kids, I got to be at carpool. Like, I can't be everywhere and I don't want to. And so if you build smartly, then you can scale and hire other people. But when I do go on site, because I do, um, I have a contract with the vineyard. And so we are their premier charcuterie
That's
provider, which
amazing.
is great. And so
Mhm.
if they have weddings or they have bookings or anything like that, comes to us first. Also being listed in different directories is very, very helpful. Tapping into some of the mom groups. I can't even count how many Facebook groups I'm in locally. In
Local.
the state, it doesn't have to be where you live. You
That's right.
just have to be in your state. And I
Yeah.
think people don't realize that. You think you need to work in proximity to home. You
Yeah.
don't just need to be in your state. And so the good thing is, I have relationships down in the Charlotte area. And so I'll do some work down in Charlotte or go up to Johnston County. Like, you don't have to do work where you live
Hmm.
at all.
No,
Uh,
I mean, our first gig, well, I did have to travel because I went up to where Andrew was at, but I mean, our first outdoor gig was out there, but I'm in 100, you look at our site and our cards that say throughout the whole state of Arizona, because you just never
Yeah.
know what you might miss if you just say, oh, I only stick in my 5 mile radius, and I 100% agree with you on that. Because you're going to miss lots of opportunities. So are you doing so you're doing strictly cart, you don't do boards or anything like that, and you've chosen not to because that's not your goal for this business, is that right? Or are people asking you for them too?
So I've done boards. If someone asks
Mhm.
for a board, I'll deliver a board. That's fun for me. I love to do them because that allows me to be creative and play. That's what I say. It's
Mhm.
like I'm playing in charcuterie. Primarily, it's cups. If I'm doing cups, that's like my thing. I love charcuterie cups. They're very time consuming. Okay.
Yeah.
And requires a hell of a lot of prep where people
Right.
miss the mark. Prep with that. People miss the mark with prep. Okay. We can talk about that too. But it's primarily the cart and cups.
Yeah.
The
So
grazing tables, I've done grazing tables. That's been fun too. But yeah,
lots of
I'd
work.
love to do more of those.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to that. Let's talk about what you're doing to prep because we know what we're doing can't be prepped a week in advance. So
Yeah.
how do you schedule this when you're juggling your child and your kids around and then going shopping and then prepping as, like what's your time frame if you had a gig on Saturday, for instance, not counting today.
Yeah.
Let's say you knew you had a gig on Saturday and Monday rolled around. The Monday before what does your week look like to plan for that?
I'm so grateful that I don't have to manage this business by myself. And so, like I said, my best friend and I are in business. And so she's really on the finance logistics side of the business, which is nice because that's typically where I live. Right. And so to have somebody else kind of do all the pre-planning. So Alicia does all the pre-planning. We'll get the order in. Somebody will say, all right, we have 25 people or 60 people or 100 people we're doing a party for. And she'll get the order in. She'll literally map out the order and she'll say, okay, Karlet, here's a shopping list, take it. I'll go to all of our places, whether that's Restaurant Depot, Trader Joe's, Aldi's, etc. We need sponsorships from these people. We shouldn't be saying their names.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
That's our next affiliates. We got to get on that.
Yes, right. But like she'll give me the order and she'll say, okay, here's the quantity that we need. Now we have a calculator where we can just plug all this stuff in and it spits it right out to us thanks to AI. But she does all the prepping and then I'll do the shopping if it's local and vice versa for her. And so it's very easy for me. If we have a gig on Saturday and it's Monday, I got the order, I give myself 3 days in advance. I'll do all my shopping 3 days out. So I have enough time to go around. I have a nanny, thank God, right? She helps me out or my partner, take the babies, take the kids, do whatever needs to happen so I can be free. When I shop for charcuterie, I am lollygagging and dilly-dallying, okay? I get obsessed. I do. I'm like, oh my God, fig jam, apricot, like I want to see and taste, like I'm having a good time. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this prosciutto, sopressata. I want to taste. I need cheeses. I'm spending so much time in Wegmans, like trying different cheeses. Like I'm obsessed and it's a passion. I just love it and it lights me up and it keeps me creative and I have a really good time with it. So everybody knows when I'm shopping for charcuterie, please just give me a bag of apricots and leave me alone.
That's amazing. Well, that's a really, really cute. That's really cute how you like just wrap your whole brain around it when you go shopping. For me, like Andrew will say, I go like the last gig I had. What were we doing? Oh, we were doing the wedding. So we were setting up the grazing table for my son's wedding. And I'm going to the store, but Andrew is like on the other end, and I'm sending her pictures of like, look at this cart. What do you think of this vegetable? And what do you think of that? And I'm like, so it is helpful to have a partner. There's no doubt about it, especially somebody who knows the food part of it really well. And how do you? So you said you had a calculator. Are you running into when you have events when you know they're okay? You're getting paid on site when you're at the winery, or what's happening there? Are you getting paid like per boat or car? Is it boats, or what are you actually putting everything in the vessel? And are you selling them individually? Okay. What are you doing?
Mostly cups. So
cups.
It can be anywhere from like a prepaid event to if you're doing like an open vendor event. So it varies. If it's a prepaid event, we are not accepting cash on site. It's already prepaid by the event organizer. Sure. You're just going there to deliver a service. Or if it's a prepaid event, well, that's what I just said. If it's cups, individual cups, then we have our POS set up. We use Square. Shout out to Square. Where a lot of people ask that question too. Just use Square. Make it easy for yourself, right?
Or contact Patty and Andrea because you don't even need Square. So
there you go. Okay,
we have our own. Yeah.
Well, maybe we should talk about that. If you don't want
to, we can integrate with Square, but you really don't need it either because we just have a handy dandy software and a phone. So.
Well, we should talk about that. We'll talk about that offline. But outside of that, like make it easy for yourself, to collect payments, but plan for it. If you definitely need to have 2 devices because you can't be on site in this cute, look how cute the little astronaut is. But you have 2 devices because you don't want to be on site. Your cell phone's going down. Like, you know what I mean? So you need to.
Yes, you are right onto that, Andrea. So you got hooked up to her Starlink the last event we were at. Thank God, because you never know how busy the event's going to be. So but I was curious because you are taking money on some of these, like the wine. When you go out to the winery, you're selling cups individually. How much
Yes.
you don't mind? Do you mind sharing with us? And you don't have to if you
No,
don't want to. What are you selling them for? And what's it costing you to put them together? None of those
not
people are listening, I guarantee.
granular will get with pricing because we want to protect that data. Okay, that's
Right.
important. But my cups were $12 when I started. And I literally just looked at others and I was like, well, I asked in Facebook group, what are you guys charging your cups? Most people said $12. But then when I went back and I did some math and I was like, well, wait a minute, what is the profit margin? After I'm shopping for quality goods, like this is
Oh,
not $2 products. We're not going to Dollar Tree here. Like we're shopping premium products. We're creating a good experience for them to enjoy. It costs money. Charcuterie is not a cheap hobby. It's just
no.
not. If you
Yeah.
want it at your event, you're going to pay for it. If you want to offer it as a service, you're going to pay for it. It's not cheap. Okay. And
Right.
cheese, as you know,
It's
cheese,
yeah.
meat. And now I see people putting caviar on their boards. And I'm like, oh
Oh
my gosh,
goodness.
how are you doing this?
Totally depends on the event to determine whether or not you'd want to do that. I could see at a winery that people would spend money out there, but if you're at, if you're at the local, what were you at the Tractor Supply around the corner because they're having a weekend event, that's probably one that you'd want to get the caviar out for. But what is your goal for at least, I guess how much you want to make at off of it? Like what percentage? Do you have that in your brain?
Yeah, I
Obviously
think
off the top.
I never really focus on the financial aspect of charcuterie, if I'm completely honest, right? And the reason for that is it started as a hobby for me. It's fun. It
Mhm.
is an outlet. It was something that I wasn't doing it. And some people are. This is their full-time job. This is something that feeds their family. For me, I can make $600 in a weekend with 50 cups. This is fun money. Like this is a
Yeah.
good time,
For six
Uh,
hundred dollars, $600, you make 50 cups, and each cup what is like a couple bucks. But do you think? I mean, just in general, we're trying to
yeah.
get some idea about what it would cost,
Yeah,
so how
maybe
much you'd be
maybe less
making.
than $5. Maybe
Yeah,
$5. You want to think about it? $5. You're
yeah,
spending $5 per cup. You get the rest. Well, you got to put it
yeah,
back in your business if you understand operations, but
yeah.
you
Right.
track
Exactly.
all of that. You know what I mean? And so I didn't have a financial goal with starting charcuterie, right? Now I do from a
Yeah.
business aspect, but that's from consulting, not necessarily from being a service provider.
Right.
It's still very much just fun for me. And I think I never want to remove the fun out of it because it's a love language. And I never want to, if you mix money with love, you start to fall out of
Yeah.
love with it. So
Yeah.
it's still fun for me.
Well, you hit home right there. I mean, there was a couple of things you just said. So number one, your love of what you're doing, because we talk about that a lot. In that, if you one of the podcasts we did 2 or 3 ago, we talked about do you want to do big events? You just want to do small events because there is so much stress involved sometimes with the bigger events, having done them both. Andrew and I've done them both. I honestly don't think I'd ever want to go and like plan another 200-person grazing table for
Wow.
the joy of it. I mean, I would do it for the money because I do love money, but there's so much friggin' work involved in it. And then the cleanup
Oh yeah.
and like what happened to all the stuff at the end of the night? You had to go back and get, I mean, there was so much involved
Oh
with it,
gosh.
right, Andrew?
Yep.
I mean, but it was worth it because there's this, oh my God, look at that. The videos are coming in now going, oh, it looks like a piece of art. It's absolutely gorgeous. Andrew, you didn't seen this, but I got videos from the wedding just the other day, and they videotaped the table that we did.
Oh, you
So
mean
there's
the
yeah,
actual photographers?
yeah,
Okay.
photographer did it. But the love of whatever it is you're selling, whether you're selling, charcuterie or you're making bread or cookies, you gotta love it. And
Love it.
otherwise it's a chore. I mean, you're not leaving another job to try to take on another stressful thing that you don't like,
That's right.
so yeah,
That's
there's
right.
just
We got to
so
keep
much
the fun
inside.
in it. You know,
You
something that you touched on that I kind of want to spend a few minutes talking about. I don't think people talk about this at all. It's offloading, right? Offloading an event. Like,
uh-huh.
what do you do? How do you prep for the end of an event?
Oh
Everybody
God.
gets excited about getting to the event.
Right.
There are protocols and practice that you also need to consider when it's time to pack up and leave. How do you
Right.
dispose of food waste. I am super sensitive about food waste, right? Super sensitive. I always make sure to include in my kit. I talk about the kit all the time because you need to have one. It's the kit to get there and serve, and then the kit
Right.
to the post event.
Get back.
What are you going to do to clean up? Please plan for these things. You need to bring your own garbage bin.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. We even had a moment last week or two of like, oh shit, we don't have a garbage. We got to I'll bring one tomorrow, because you're planning for everything else. But that makes a good point, because the last event I did inside without Andrea is that at the end of the night, I was going around going, well, I have leftovers, and the owner or the event person was nowhere to be seen. And then later the next day he goes, well, what happened to all of the leftovers? I go, I was telling your staff, get over here and take this stuff, because I don't need to take it home. And you paid for it. Nobody came around. And then the next day I'm like, well, it's a day late and $1 short. So you really hit that on the head, because I'm happy to pack everything up and give it to them if they want it, because they paid for it. But you said have a shit ton of Ziplocs or whatever you're going to do to be prepared if that's going to happen. Ideally, you're not having a lot of leftovers, but you're going to have some, most likely, you know.
Especially if it's a grazing table, because I've done a grazing table for a wedding, and we had so much food left over, right? And they ate a lot of it, but there was just also so much left, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to toss this. So what I do to prepare is I bring plastic containers and then pack it up, put it on a gift table. Like, just if you position it, people will take it. You just have to put it in front of them. Ziploc bags are your best friend as well. Extra cups if you want. I've also previously at an outdoor event gone into the crowd and like whispered to everyone, hey, I'm Karlet from Ever and also Charcuterie. If you want to come by and just stop by and grab some complimentary treats. Everybody came. I was like,
that's
oh goodness,
we
where were
did.
you guys when it was time to pay for it?
Right.
You know?
Right. I love that. But we had the same thing. Problem was that we were there to actually party as well. And then in this floor-length gown, gold lame gown, I'm over there schlepping the crap off the table and moving the table and instructing these guys, move this shit here, move it over there. Anyway, it was like, but we had to do because we were actually part of this particular event. But yeah, I never even, I mean, we're dealing with it. And it was just part and parcel of what we're doing. But really good point, Karlet, about that, because I don't think we're thinking in advance. It's all the excitement of getting there, and then what's going to happen if you need to pack up and get out of there. How much time do you have to get out of there? How many hours have you been out there? And like in our case, it was that table, and they were getting on us about it being out there for too long. So we had to get all the perishable stuff off, but we kept the fruits out. We kept a few things out, and they all ended up going. But there's so much to be said about all of that. Now I want to hit home your consulting business. So you brought that up. So what is it exactly that you do mostly to help people in this industry? We know we focus a lot, obviously, on starting your business, but we have all the software and all of the background ordering, the websites, all of those things. What is it that you really focus on, Karlet, to help people?
Yeah, I love that. I would say it's the infrastructure, right? Most people who are a part of my community, they've already started. But now there's one thing to starting a business and running a business. Everybody and anybody can start a business. How do you make it sustainable? How do you make it profitable? You need systems. Without systems, you have no business. Without clients, you have no business. And so I think the nice thing is the synergy where we align, Patty and Andrea. Right. You guys help them get started, build the infrastructure. I help them maintain it. It's like, if you go and file your LLC and you get to the health department, you get your permits, you get your compliance. Oh my gosh, look at me. I got my business cards. Look at my sign. I'm shiny. Crickets. How do people find you? How do they book you? What happens when they book you? Do you have a contract? What does the contract say? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many unknowns and they don't know. And so what I help them do is build that back-end infrastructure, the operations, marketing, and sales piece. And those are the really critical piece, because anybody can book a charcuterie business, your business, one time. How do they come back? Right. Outside of social media, I want everybody to remember that your business is local. If you are selling food, you are local. You need to
Mhm.
focus on establishing relationships with your community, externally, outside of your house, offline. Go out there, go to the dentist's office, go to the funeral homes, go to the
Yeah.
daycare centers, go to the schools, show up at your children's school, your
Yeah, even if you
grandchildren's
give it
school.
away a little bit, just give it away, show up and give it away so people can see you. It's great marketing. If you think about what
Exactly.
it's going to cost instead of running ads or, you know,
Mhm.
other stuff and the stress of it all, you could just show up at your kid's cool, you know,
Yep.
a Friday night party that they do and just set something up and let
Yep.
people
Mm-hmm.
see you. It is kind of amazing how that works. So I guess on that note, what, because you are so into that, how what do you give advice to everybody who's new on here to stand out? What makes your cart different, and what are you going to do to stand out amongst your competition in the area? You have
Yeah,
a
I don't pay
suggestion?
attention. I don't really
You
pay
don't care
attention to
about
what
them because
anybody
you're
else
doing
is
so good.
doing.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
I don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing. In fact, a number of other business owners who are charcuterie business owners are in my community. They're local. I know them. They come to me and they say, "Hey, we're struggling to get bookings. How are you getting booked?" But I'm not struggling to get bookings. Like, you have to understand what your positioning is in this industry.
yeah,
Do you want to be Walmart or do you want to be Costco? Right?
yeah,
Like, do you want everybody to book you? Every backyard barbecue, every birthday party, every celebration? No, I
yeah,
don't aspire to be booked by everybody. I want to work with the architecture companies. I want to know the developers at the realtors. I want to know the funeral home directors. I want to know the corporations. I want to know the vineyard owners. Like, I want to work with the businesses. I do not. I do weddings, sure. I have it because I have the contract with the vineyard, but like, you have to know your lane. And that's why I wrote my book. Truly, because you have to know your lane. Where are you shooting? What's your target? Who do you want to serve? What is the personality of your cart? Like, are you the fun cart? Are you the party cart? Or are you
mhm,
a premium cart? Do you go into corporations? Can you walk into, one of these corporations downtown Raleigh and actually service their cart? Would you know what to do when you get there? What experience do you want them to have? You got to know your lane. There is a
yeah.
lane for everybody. You just got to find yours. And that's what I want to help people do.
Right. Well, let's talk about your book because you're gonna have to pull it up closer so we can see it. But can you pull your
Okay.
book up? You wrote a
There
new
we go.
book recently. It's called The Mobile Cart Moneymaker Playbook. And it's 100 ways to market you. I can't write, missed it, but 100 ways
Yeah.
to market.
100 ways to market and book your mobile charcuterie cart. I am so excited about this book. You have no idea. It was
Yeah, I love
literally
it.
like, it came out of nowhere. I'm so grateful. I'm just grateful for the gifts that I have. Like, I'm a Christian, so I always give God glory, right? Like, I'm grateful that He gives me my gifts, because it hit me. I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm making these phone calls. I'm sending these pitches. I'll give you the playbook. I have a free downloadable guide where you can go. I'm actually giving you the script. It's not even that hard. You
Yeah,
just have to do the work. Like, you
right.
literally have to send the email. Everybody's like, oh, I'm using AI and blah, blah. Yes, use it. But you physically have to go to Gmail. You have to send
Mhm.
the email. You got to go to LinkedIn. You got to look up who the contact person is. In this book, I'm actually telling you who to reach out to. I'm actually
Mhm.
giving you 100 tactical strategies on different variants that you can reach out to get booked. You haven't even thought of these yet. I know you haven't. How do I know? Because they haven't done it. They didn't do the outreach. Most people are only thinking about weddings. You think the wedding is the creme de la creme. It's not.
Yeah,
Celebration of life celebrations, when people pass, the same way the business of life is successful, births is the same way the business of death is successful. There's a
yeah,
whole bunch of money in
yeah.
funerals and
There is. Did you
afterlife.
just walk into funeral homes, or how did you call them? Are you calling them, or are you walking right in there?
No, I have a business partner who, oh my gosh, I just love Dr. Miles. So huge shout out to
Yeah,
Dr. Miles. She is a
I
contributor
met
of the
her.
book as well.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Miles attends a lot of funerals, which I absolutely hate for her.
Oh,
Uh,
Oh.
she attends a lot of funerals, and she always says to me, they need a lot of help down at the funeral home. Now, she's in Pennsylvania. I'm here in North Carolina. And if there's a lot of deaths in Pennsylvania, surely there's a lot of deaths in North
Oh, there.
Carolina. And so it's just thinking outside of the box. Like, these things are not taboo. It is a part of life. And so just email them. Just email them, introduce yourself, drop off samples if you want to, right? Let me see. I want to pick something else out of this book because I know this is something that people aren't thinking about. And I want to send you guys a copy of the book too. I
Oh,
want
I'd
both of you
love
guys
that. Yeah, I mean,
to
do you
it.
have a digital version too? I mean, but if you give me
Yeah,
the hard one,
it's a
then I can
Kindle. Do you
wave
have
it around.
Kindle?
I don't have Kindle actually, but
I do.
yeah, she does.
It's
But
on
I can.
Kindle.
Okay, yay.
So in the book, it has here, I'm going to go to the table of contents because you have weddings and engagements, which everybody knows. All of the events leading up to a wedding are all of the events you should be pitching your mobile charcuterie cart or your charcuterie or cottage business for. What does that mean? That means outside of a wedding, you have all of the social events leading up to a wedding. You have the bridal shower, the engagement party, the bachelor party, the girls' night, the brunch, everything.
Yeah.
All of those
You're
events
right.
need
Love it.
charcuterie. Okay. So we call them the social celebrations. In the book, we also talk about unconventional business partnerships. So I actually got booked before for my cart, not even to service an event, but it was for a photo shoot because they wanted my cart to be a part of an editorial photo shoot. That counts as a booking in your
Sure,
business.
because you had to put food in there, right?
You have to stage it. And they'll just use the cart to feed the staff. Right.
Yeah.
So when you're booking anything, any photo shoot, social media content creators, that's all content. They need content. They need food on site. That counts as a booking as well. And so it's just unconventional ways to get your cart booked. It doesn't need to just be a wedding. There are a number of ways that you can work with different businesses. You can do grand openings, work with your chamber of commerce. You can go out there and service your chamber of commerce. Go down to your town hall and take them some samples. Hey, I'm a new business registered in the area. I just want to introduce myself. Here goes lunch.
Right.
That's 10 cups.
Right. It's interesting because I'm a real estate agent and I bring this up probably every other of our podcasts, but if you just bring in you could bring in a little tray and raffle it off to the group, grab all their cards. Honestly, you don't even need their cards. If you use our software, you can have them just use a QR code and they could get raffle right off the electronic side of this. Now you've collected all the real estate agent's name inside your software. And speaking of that, as far as the emailing goes, you can have all of those different people that you want to communicate with and build up the templates for yourself and blast them all out at one time in our software. And I could show you exactly how to do it. It would personalize each one of those saying, oh, about your funeral, the funerals, or about the wedding, whatever. It could automatically load in that information to help market you. So reach out because we can help you with that side while Karlet's all of those amazing ideas.
Yeah.
We need to totally get together and build up the templates for all of that stuff because so many great ideas that you've got there. And I'm very impressed with, all of the thoughts that you put into that. And so if somebody wanted to get your book, where would they find that?
On Amazon. It's on Amazon.com. It'll ship right to you in 2 days if you have Prime.
We'll put a link in the notes.
Yeah.
For that.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
You can't see it. There it is.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
A fast read.
This is my cart. It's literally photos from my cart here at the bottom. This is my actual cart. I'm really excited about it. I'm really proud of it too. It's a great labor.
We're going to wrap this up. What is the biggest piece of advice you could give to beginners and maybe even people that have been doing this a while? And it could be 2 pieces of advice, or what do you think? Because you're still relatively new at this yourself, but you've been through almost everything. What do you suggest somebody who just getting started? What would be the first thing that you would say to them?
The first thing that I would say is none of us here, the 3 of us, we aren't special. We are not anomalies. We are all doing this. It is a transfer of skill. Patty, you're a real estate agent outside of charcuterie. Andrea, you're a chef outside of charcuterie. Me, I'm a strategist outside of charcuterie, right? None of us are special and neither are you. And so if we are doing this, right, surely you can do this too. God is not a respecter of persons. He will let you do this too. You just have to start. I really encourage everybody in my community, you do not have to know all the answers. I still don't, but I know Andrea, I know Patty, and they know me. And so now we have 3 brains in one room, right? I have great mind, think alike strategy sessions because I want people, if you want to borrow my brain for an hour, book it. I'll tell you everything for an hour on what I've done. And you can do this too. You don't have to have any food experience. You don't have to understand catering. You don't have to understand pricing or systems. All of these things are pre-existing. Patty has the tools. Andrea has the tools. I have the tools. Get in the room with people who are already doing the work. You'll go a lot faster. You'll grow a lot faster. You'll make money. You'll have fun. And you'll have community. And it's just the best thing in the world to have people that you can talk to about something you're genuinely passionate about. My boyfriend don't want to hear me talk about.
Neither does my husband. He's like, oh, there she goes again. What's all over the table and the counter in there? It's always something.
Yeah, he doesn't care. And neither does my son. And neither does my sister. Like nobody wants to sit here. And I love tomatoes. Okay. I'm always going to the farmer's market. I have beefsteak tomatoes are like my favorite thing. They're so pretty. I love going to look at the peppers. Like I love produce now. This is all new for me. So I get excited about it. They don't care. I'm like, oh my God, did you try that honey? Clover honey, wildflower honey? Did you try the hot honey? Like, nobody cares about honey, but it's fun to be able to talk with people like, oh my God, what kind of honey are you using? Where did you get it? What kind of fig jam is that? Did you try pepper jelly? Like I have people that I can talk to who are equally as excited about food.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So if somebody wanted to get your help, Karlet, talk to you for an hour or two or however long, whatever you help them with, how would they reach out to you? I'll put links to all of Karlet's stuff, the book, but tell us how, if somebody wanted your help for that special systems consulting that you do, how can they reach you?
mobilecartceo.com. It's where the mobile carts grow. Okay. If you have a mobile cart business, if you are in the mobile charcuterie cart business, or now I'm getting a lot of dirty soda people, fun fact. And so I'm like, oh goodness, do you know what dirty soda is?
I don't know what that is.
No, I had no idea what that is
either. It must be an Eastern thing.
Yeah, it must be a southeastern thing, because I've never heard of it.
When we get off, you'll go look it up. Big business, okay? Dirty soda, equally as lucrative, niche as charcuterie. It is, now you have like the boba, you know what boba is? The boba drinks, matcha, spiked drinks, but also the dirty soda is like soda and coffee creamer. Different flavors, they're themed. It's a big business. It's fun.
Interesting.
So it's just like have a cart. People are doing carts with them. Is that what it is?
Have a mobile cart.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to look that up.
Interesting. Yeah.
There's so much out there to make money, people, and we, especially if you want it as a side gig, or a full-time gig. I think right now, because it's so tough for people out there in the world with the four, like we're in May, where are we at? In April of 2026. So the prices of gas are up over $4 in our state. It's over $5 in our state, and so
we're pushing
it's
5.
crazy. Luckily, I have an electric vehicle, but we're not really driving our other cars much. It's crazy. But to know that you have the ability to start any kind of business you want, and honestly, if it's not food related, you can start any kind of business, people. If it's something that you are so passionate about, like Karlet is, and Andrea with her soups, and me with my crazy software. Honestly, I just want to encourage you to take that leap. And Andrea, you said it, Karlet. Andrea says it almost every week. You just have to go do it, and go try it out. I mean, just go tell the people what it is you're offering, and you don't have to like make a massive business out of it. See if there's a want and a need and a desire of the people around you. Start telling people what you do. Take videos of yourself just out there and put them on social, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Test everything. I like to tell people there's literally no wrong answer to anything. And the rules, they do not apply to you. It may be hard for them. It's not going to be hard for you. It's not. Yeah. You just have to start. It will not be hard for you because you know us. And so as long as you get connected to the three of us in one way or you need people who know more than you. I don't know everything. Neither does Patty, neither does Andrea. Behind us, we have an army of people that we can turn to and say, how do I do this? How much does this cost? What should I price? get in community with people who genuinely want to see you win. In my community, no card is left behind. So whether you're just starting today or you've been doing this for 15 years, we all rise together. We all thrive together. Everybody's making money together, provided you want to. But you have to get in community.
Yeah, I mean, and don't be afraid to ask. And if people treat you badly in there, you know what? Turn the other way, because you know what? They're not happy. If they start giving you a hard time, they're the unhappy ones. It's not you. So
that's true.
And if people start getting negative to you, you know what? Either that or get out of the group if that entire group seems like it is. You don't have to stick around.
Yeah.
Start your own group.
There you go.
I'm all for that. Well, Karlet, I can't tell you how thankful that we finally were able to get it, because Andrew was busy juggling her grandson and that traveling, and you were busy juggling your work and your kids, and our schedules just finally made it happen today. And so we're really excited that you spent an hour with us. It was about an hour. And I hope people tap into the resources that we're giving you free. Well, of course, we have paid stuff, which you probably heard. It's all in the show notes. So definitely check it out. Anything else, Andrew, for the good of the cause? Do you have anything to say before we wrap it up today?
Same thing I always say, just get out there and start doing it, because you never know until you start. It's scary, but you'll get the hang of it, whatever it is you're going to do.
Look how far Karlet's gotten in just 8 or 9 months. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But that's because she put her head down and said, "This is what I want to do. I love it. I'm going to go do it." Right. So, all right, everyone. Well, thank you again. We're so excited that you came to join us, and tap in, because we're here to help you out. Thank you. See y'all later.
Bye. Bye.